sure most of you guys have heard about the bishop, the female bishop from D.C. by the name of, I think it was Mary Ann Egger Baker, or Budd. I'm sorry, Mary Ann Egger Budd. She's a reverend or whatever, or bishop, whatever, for the Episcopalian Church there in D.C. And she at the prayer service on Tuesday, she told Trump she thought it'd be okay to tell Trump in front of everyone that you better have mercy. You need to have mercy on the trans folks and on the illegal immigrants and everything else. And the thing is, Marianne, he does have compassion. It's you that lacks it. You know, again, you're judging Trump and his followers and everything else. First of all, even in liberal polls, over 50% of respondents said that they want the illegals out. Get them out. If Trump is going to do that, again, nobody else says but Trump. So that is compassion. What about my kids? What about my neighbor's kids? Again, this is their country. And we're going to destroy it for them. It's my country. It's my neighbors. It's my friends. It's also yours, well over 50%, even according to liberal polls, say that, you know what, we don't want them here. We don't want them here. And again, that's not racist or mean or anything else. We don't want people in our country that, again, came from the southern border. We don't know who the hell they are. We don't want them here. And so, but you're telling Trump to have compassion. Same thing with the trans folks. Again, they want minors to be able to choose what gender they want to identify as, and get whatever done. Hormone blockers and, you know, puberty blockers and hormones and, you know, whatever. No, surgeries, no. They're not old enough. They have no idea what they're doing. Adults, I don't think they know what the hell they're doing, but definitely kids. So again, taking that stance is compassion. Saying there only is male and female is compassion. But guys, I'm going to show you a clip from a few years back of Miss Mary Ann Egger Budd. And just how compassionate she is.
We are upset about the fire as well, but that is not our primary focus. Our primary focus is the reason behind, the fundamental reasons behind the protests in our country right now. There is a deep desire for the fundamental issues at stake brought to light by the murderous death of George Floyd and the countless others that we've witnessed in this long string of violence against Black and brown people. Well, if the president had come to pray, if the president had come to greet us in the name of the country and to offer an encouraging word, that would have been one thing. But that's not what he did. That's not what he did. And he is always welcome to come and pray. He is always welcome to be part of the worshiping body, but not to use the mantle of the church to his to communicate a political message.
Guys, that's her from a few years back, right after the Black Lives Matter riots. And they burned down St. John's Church. That was the one that Trump stood in front of, holding the Bible. And she got mad and said that Trump was using the church for political statements. Now, what in the hell was she doing? Again, at the prayer service on Tuesday. Again, making the statements that she made. But again, it's okay if you're on the left, because if you're on the left, you're with you're with the moral majority. You're with the good people. No, you're not. Again, anytime you want to have a 10-year-old or whatever choose their gender, you're not on the side of good. That is nothing but straight darkness coming through you. Again, want this country to be filled with illegal immigrants. Because again, we gotta feel sorry for them. We gotta have compassion for them. No, we don't. And again, what they call compassion, it's not even compassion to begin with. Again, those poor people we're so sorry. It's not compassion. That is not compassion. That's hate. That really is what that is. They want to get across what they want to get across, and they don't want you standing in the way. They don't want you to criticize what they're doing. So again, if you have any criticism at all, because you're being hateful, you don't have compassion. And that's not true. That is not true one single bit. But again, that's what they go off of. That's why it's okay for her to say whatever she said during the prayer service on Tuesday. That's okay. But Trump standing in front of her church for the Bible was not okay. Do people understand what's going on? I'm going to play for you guys a couple clips from the legacy media, like CNN and whatever, and show you what I mean. They pander to people like Marianne.
Everyone, hold on. We've got someone on the phone with we want to hear from. Marianne Budde is the Bishop of the District of Columbia, who oversees the church that the president just used as a photo op. Bishop Budde, thank you for being here. What are your thoughts as you saw what happened, and as you look at these images now of so many Americans crying out in the streets for law and order that is applied equally to all of us, regardless of color, regardless of economic status?
I want to thank you for letting me be on this, be part of this conversation. Let me be clear. The president just used a Bible, the most sacred text of the Judeo-Christian tradition, and one of the churches of my diocese, without permission, as a backdrop for a message antithetical to the teachings of Jesus and everything that our churches stand for. And to do so, as you just said, he sanctioned the use of tear gas by police officers in riot gear to clear the churchyard. I am outraged.
So Black Lives Matter can burn down St. John's Church, again, her church, and they're okay. It's okay. It's understandable because of George Floyd that you burn down whatever, and that you burn down our historic church. But Donald Trump, standing in front of the church holding a Bible, oh my God, that's too far. That's too far! See, this is, again, what they do on the left. Again, they try to convince people, and they convince a lot, that Trump is evil. The Republicans are evil. Because again, they don't want illegals in the country. And they don't think kids are old enough when they're 10, 12 years old to decide if they are or not going to have a sex change. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what it is. Do people understand what's happening? Do people understand the compassion they talk about? It's not real at all. And it definitely does not extend anywhere right of where they're standing. But I wanted to play for you guys what happened yesterday, Tuesday, at the prayer service. Watch.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world.
Man, she is not worshiping God. That's not God that's talking to you, lady. That's the devil. That's darkness. That ain't no God. So again, man, whoever is telling her, to have compassion, because Trump, there is no lack of compassion. Again, you don't want to push something that's not real. And that's, again, what she is advocating for. Again, we had to feel bad for the trans people. We got to feel bad for trans kids. We got to feel bad for the kids of illegal immigrants. Because again, the government may come in and take their parents away. So again, we got to feel bad for them. We got to feel bad. And that in itself is wrong. Again, he is being compassionate to these people. He's just saying, hey, look, we're not going to worship what is wrong. And that's what this bishop lady is advocating for. Again, we got to feel bad for what is wrong. Now, we're not going to go, make fun of those people and whatever. Of course not. But we're going to say what is wrong is wrong. Again, cutting off body parts of kids is wrong. And if you don't understand that, there is something wrong with you. You feel me? There is something wrong with you. Again, you don't advocate. You don't do the devil's work. We gotta feel bad for the transgender people. We gotta feel bad for the parents of the kids of illegal immigrants and everything. No. Again, you try to make things as easy for people as you can. Again, don't make it more difficult for them. Don't, say bad things about them or whatever. No. But don't speak highly. Don't speak good of what is evil. And trans stuff is evil. There's no way around that. is evil. And anyone, again, trying to smooth things over to make it sound better, to make so you don't offend them, is evil too. Because what you're doing is you're listening to darkness. You're listening to the great deceiver. You yourself are dark. And we have got to understand that. God does not promote darkness. The devil does. Doesn't matter how woke or how good you are. God doesn't want you out there killing anyone, hurting anyone, or doing whatever to anyone that is in darkness themselves. Of course not. And if you are willing to make fun of somebody, or be hateful, or be mean in any way to somebody that's in darkness, you yourself are in darkness. But you don't pretend that evil is good. Don't do that. That's compassionate. Willing to be strong enough to say, no, sorry, that is wrong. That's true compassion. Because in order to do so, you have to stand up to what is wrong, what is dark, what is evil. But guys, and she definitely is evil. But guys, I wanted to show you one last clip of what she had to say.
Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger. For we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God.
Guys, man, I think Marianne Bud, or whatever her name is. Yeah, I mean, this woman does not know God at all. Again, she's listening to nothing but straight darkness. The devil. I mean, seriously. And I'm being dramatic here, but yeah, she is listening to darkness. Surely is. Again, it's not wise to let people in the country that we don't know who the hell they are. Like Pope Francis. He's out there saying that that Trump is a disgrace or whatever because we shut down the border. No, we're not. No, Trump is not. He is doing the majority of Americans want. We want them gone. This is our country. Do people not get that? What has made right now? We have gone to a place we think compassion is allowing whatever to come into the country. Maybe invite them in your house. That's compassion. That's not compassion. That's stupidity. Especially if you have a family, your wife, your daughter, or whatever. But you're going to invite people in to come live in your house because you have no idea who they are. That right there is stupidity. You're putting yourself and your family in danger. You understand? And again, people like Marianne, they advocate for that. Have compassion. But open up that border. No. And say we're not being bad or mean or immoral or whatever. If we say no, we don't know who they are. We don't want them in here. They're causing problems. We have gang problems now because of people coming from other countries that are taking over buildings and towns. And I mean, what the hell is wrong with people? You have the compassion shutting that down. And again, Trump, he may not always say things with the sensitivity of some beta male. But guess what? He is the man to get the job done. And that's what I like about him. He will get that job done. He will shut that border down. He will say, like what he did, he will say things like, there are only two genders, male and female. He's right. And he's willing to say that. And he's willing to also say that, again, hormone blockers and surgeries and everything else, especially when it comes to kids, is a no-go. That's not being mean. That's not being insensitive. That's being compassionate. You understand? We have to realize that what we have been taught about being compassionate and understanding and whatever is fake. It's fake. The kind of compassion that Mary Edgar Budd or whatever her damn name is, Marianne Edgar Budd is talking about, is not compassion at all. It's a feminized view of what they want compassion to look like. But it's not compassion at all. It's a way of making you weaker. So again, you won't stand up and go against what they're doing. And that in itself is what they want. They want you to sit down, shut up, and listen to them. And when you don't want to, in the case of Trump, and in the case of so many others now, they get mad. They don't like that. They say you're being sexist and you're not being compassionate. You're against trans people or LGBT, whatever. Or you're against illegal immigration. It's like, yeah. But you're not a good person. You're not compassionate. They have the moral high ground. No, they don't. Again, they're using that in a way to keep you quiet. Again, that's not morality at all. That's a way to control you and to control others. But guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
You son of a